Hello there, Grant Baker here. Happy Homebrew Wednesday to you all. There's a question to be answered here. It's like these light ABV beers and flight, long flights, these seem to have taken a beating on the carbonation process. I can't believe everybody overcarbed their beers. So, yeah, tricky. Cheers.
Coming at you, happy Homebrew Wednesday. So, I'm still working on recipes and things. I've been formulating. I haven't started brewing yet for the HBW Challenge again this year, but I got beer mail. I got to tell you about some beer mail. I did get a beer mail from Grant Baker. It's a very special deal. I'm going to tell you all about that. But first, I want to tell you about some other beer I got. That's right, from Brick and Mortar Brewing Company, BMBC. How cool is this? These are stickers. I love it. So one of these is definitely going on the inside of my kegerator with my other commercial beer stickers. So that's pretty cool. So thank you. So this came to me from Chris Kabish. I'm assuming that's how I pronounce it, Chris Kabish. And I'll throw a little picture up over here. That's right. This is a shot of Chris brewing a one barrel system. And as I understand it, I might have my facts a little wrong. He won some kind of brewing competition. They did a big commercial brew of his beer. And now this is a shot of him at Wisconsin Brewing. And they're making a one barrel batch for the finals for the Isthmus Beer and Cheese Festival. So he's going on for a championship there. So congratulations to Chris. That's so cool. Anytime you win a competition, but when you get to go on to a brew system like this, that's like, I wish I could go back to see them, work with them brewing my beer for the HBW Challenge that's going to be served in Minnesota. That'd be cool, but congrats to you because that's freaking awesome. And I understand you may have some aspirations to go pro. Good luck to you on that. I'd be happy to share some of my recipes to you if you do go that direction at some point in the future. So what did he send me? Well, let's see, I'm just grabbing them randomly. The first one here is Hop Ninja Black IPA with coffee. That's fun alone. Amarillo, Mosaic, and Cascade at 6.5% ABV. That looks pretty cool. The next one he sent me was, let's see, Chew on This. Great title. It's a New England IPA. This is what he told me about. He contacted me out of the blue. We're in kind of a chat group and said, hey, I'd like to send you beer. Why don't you send me your address? So he said he'd send me the New England IPA. This has Mosaic and Mandarina Bavaria. Oh, I've always wanted to try that one, that hop. Also Citra and Zythos. Very cool. That's a cool combination. 6.1% ABV. The next one is, let's see, it's called Indenstill. In the style. Indenstill. It's a Munich Helles. And it's 5.4% ABV. And then the last one is called Putt Putt Pale Ale. I used to be quite a golfer at one time. It's made with Ella hops and Cascade hops. It's 7.1%. So that's not a putting around pale ale by any means. So very cool. Thanks again, Chris. And go check him out. I'll have his website link. I'll have his YouTube link down below. So go ahead and check out Chris and his channel. Next, I've got beers from Grant Baker. That's right, out of New Zealand. But I think I better unwrap these. We'll unveil them. All right, that took a while. Grant Baker, being who he is, he's had lots of practice packing, and they were superbly packed. So what's this all about? Grant sent me 4 beers, all the same exact beer. And this is for a little experiment that we're going to be posting very soon. I believe it's an IPA, but I'm not sure. Here's the first one, and it's packed simply with a cap. Nothing extra, nothing special, just with a good old cap. The second one that he sent was what I like to call Lermo 22 style, where it's the same beer, capped, and then wrapped with tape, electrical tape, nice red tape. Lermo 22 style. If it was truly Larry's, there'd be a label and something written right there. The next one he sent was waxed. So again, the same beer, but a wax top. The concept of these I'll explain in a minute. And the last one's in a PET bottle. That's right. And these are, sealed a little differently. They're usually sealed really well. So what this is all about, same beer. We've seen in the SJ Port Challenge as we've shipped beers around, anytime a beer seems to go up in the air, into an airplane, it changes the beer. Often you end up with beers that are even explosive. And we've been trying to figure out what causes that. And there are many things that can come into play here. One of the concepts was maybe it's because the beer was rushed and it didn't completely ferment out. And so as it continued to build and then you get some air pressure as well, you end up with an explosive beer or one that seems to be highly carbonated. So for example, in this last year's challenge, I was pleased to do well, but I made my beer specifically with a low carbonation for the international level. Knowing it was going to be shipped abroad and that the carbonation can build, I did it at a very low carb level and figured that would be the trick. And lo and behold, many people said my beer was over carbonated. If you had it off tap, you wouldn't know that because it was very low carbonation on it. Low ABV too. Very low carbonation on it. And I know that SJ Pour himself has sent out beers that sat for months. They were definitely completely fermented out, and they drank bottles from home, but shipped them abroad, and then they were explosive. Talking to Grant Baker, he had one of Josh's beers, Josh Hoover, Man Beer Pig, his beers, the one that took second in the world, and after letting it sit, he had an extra one, decided to open that recently, and there's a video, go watch his Homebrew Wednesday video. It's explosive. It just, it goes all over on him. Had to clean up. Didn't have that problem quite so much when it was first opened and tried. And most of the time we only see this on beers that have gone into airplanes. So the theory of did it just not ferment all the way out? That's certainly a possibility, but that's not always the case because we know we have plenty of beers that haven't gone through that issue. They've had plenty of time to ferment out. We're talking months before they were bottled, and yet still they ended up explosive high carbonation. Often they end up with that cardboard taste from being oxidized. And often it kills off, IPAs particularly, it kills off those flavors. It really doles down the flavors of the hop, all that hop character. So one of the things I hypothesized was maybe it's because if you send out a beer, and just like this, with the pressure, it's able to breathe oxygen, or the pressure can push air out or CO2 out and then pull oxygen in. And maybe that's causing it between pressure and this not being a perfect seal. Josh Hoover's beer seemed to do a little better than mine on initial receivership being tried by people, and he taped his. So I kind of wondered, well, maybe that was the difference. So I kind of wondered if maybe if we waxed bottles, that would be the trick. That would just keep them better. And the final, of course, Grant went the extra mile with a PET bottle to see how that comes out. So I'm going to let these sit for a week. That's what I normally do when I receive things from abroad or even locally. I like to let them sit for weeks, settle down. And so I'll be doing a video very soon, a nice little experiment. I'll do little pours and you'll get to see each pour from each type and see if they pour differently. Maybe I'll put some video together and do some side-by-sides. But I think it's a great experiment. At any rate, there you go. That's my Homebrew Wednesday for this week, but some interesting things going on, some experiments going on. And we will have registration opening for the SJ Pour Challenge very, very soon. We've got a program, we're working on that right now. And while I mentioned that, Jed Johnson in Australia was not able, he's very busy at this time, So we have another programmer helping us. He is paid. So we are looking, though, if we've got people that are programmers that do website design and programming. If you've got those kind of skill sets, please get a hold of me. You can email me at Kevin, K-E-V-I-N, at sjportchallenge.org. Kevin at sjportchallenge.org. And let me know, because we'd be happy to use your skill sets or discuss what skill sets you have when it comes to web development, maybe some Java or PHP type scripting type things.
I know, you don't see them wild like that.
Anyway, you guys have a great week, and I will catch you all on the next Homebrew Wednesday.